Welcome back, Shalloners. We're talking again about Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith and August Alsina and this whole weird love triangle that they've gotten into, or I guess used to be in, given August's recent revelation that he says he was in a relationship with Jada like 5 years ago while she was married to Will and with Will's blessing. Now, Jada has denounced this. She said that's not true, and then she did one of her red table talks, like the drama. I have to sit at a table and it's red and we're gonna talk about things. Her claims is that actually her and Will were broken up. We were on a break, insert Ross and Rachel gif, that they were on a break and that she was sort of just using August to feel good. I think, well, we're going to get into what I think. We're going to talk about what to do when an ex gaslights you and tries to rewrite history, and also why the idea of couples goals is so destructive and can actually end up ruining your relationship. You guys voted on these topics. You actually voted for one over the other, but I just think we got to talk about them both. There's so much to unpack here. Why not? But first, just want to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram at ShallonXL. That's where I let you suggest topics and weigh in. It's super fun. Also, find me on Cameo if you need a video shout out for a friend. Some of them, we've been having a glitch lately. I feel like this happens once every 2 weeks where I upload and they just upload endlessly, and then the request times out. So if that happened to you, please re-request. I've told Cameo to prioritize the ones that expire so that they go to the top of my queue. Technology is an imperfect thing. She's a cruel mistress. Also, be sure to follow me on InfStream, where we're doing some sexy tutorials. We're doing kissing. The kissing tutorial is up there. A hand job tutorial is coming either today or tomorrow, depends on when we can get it up. And then after that, next week, we're gonna be talking blow jobs. All in a very safe for work way. Nothing's gonna be gross or weird, because I'm just not like that. Well, I'm weird, but I'm not gross. So let's hear what Jada had to say. So August was very, and we talked about this in the last video, very naked about how he felt. He's like, I gave all of my heart to her, all of my soul to her, and I could die happy knowing that I had like given myself to someone like that. It felt very raw, and it also felt not at all fake. It felt real. It felt like there was no reason for him to lie about that, because look, if a guy is going to lie and like stick it to another man who he's like hooking up with the wife, he's gonna stick it to him. He's gonna be like, you're a fucking cuckold. I fucked your bitch, blah, blah, blah. Do you remember Future and Larsa Pippen? When Future, the rapper, was a kid, Scottie Pippen, the basketball player, refused to give him an autograph. Future never forgot that. The king of petty. He grew up and fucked Larsa Pippen, Scottie's wife, while they were on a break. And I'm like, sweetie, you're doing amazing. Like, that is the level truly of revenge that I aspire to. It's such a long con, but that's the thing. Future made it very known. That's why I fucked your woman. It wasn't like, I gave my whole heart to her. Like, he didn't look like the vulnerable one at all. And maybe he was. Like, I mean, maybe he genuinely loved her, who knows? But that's not the story he gave in public. It's not in like a proud man's nature to hand that story out if it's not true. So August saying that to me was the truth. And there have been lots of rumors for years that Will and Jada have an open marriage. And we covered that in the last video. Do open relationships work? We had some scientifically driven evidence about when it does and when it doesn't. And Will and Jada, this is what I've always heard, is that they are very, very concerned with appearances. They want to seem like the cool couple, but normal, not weird. And like, they can be like a little off center. It's like, oh, we let our kids parent themselves. And oh, we have like sort of open ideas about monogamy, but not really. It's like they're just a little bit left of center when actually maybe they're way, way, way left. And so for them, image is everything. Image is everything. I mean, look at the roles Will gets. He's like Men in Black, like box office success. He's like nice, non-threatening actor, man. And so for people to think, oh, he lets other dudes like fuck his wife, not sure he's going to be starring in this Pixar movie. You know, like sometimes things work like that in Hollywood. Sometimes they don't, whatever. But Jada was not about to let that be the narrative. So she did her red table talk and did her particular brand of edited truth. I've watched a lot of her red table talks, and sometimes, like when she's talking about other people, I think she's very truthful and she calls it like she sees it. When she's talking about herself, I hear a lot of strategic editing from her, like her own version of the truth as it fits the narrative. So this is what she said, and Will was on there too. It's like, she said that they were broken up during this time, right? I was done with your ass. She said, I was done with you. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Will said that. Marriages have that though. We decided we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll try to figure out how to make myself happy. I really felt like we could be over. And then Jada says that she called her thing with August a brief entanglement. And she's like, I just wanted to feel good. I just wanted to feel good. A brief entanglement. When I heard that, I was like, that, like, I hurt for August. He was so naked and emotional. And truly, when we are emotional and open with someone, the most hurtful thing they can say is, you weren't that to me. Not like you were and I don't feel that way anymore. I don't love you anymore. It's like, you were here. Oh, I was here. I was the love of your life. You were like a blip on my radar. What's your name? It's so minimizing, and it's also gaslighting. She could have easily said, you know what? We were broken up. She could have like gone with that lie and not gaslit August and made him feel like he was absolute disposable trash to her, and said, you know what? I did love him too. Like, he was right. Our relationship was so intense and blah, blah, blah. But she didn't, because she had already reflexively, when August came out with that statement, lied. And she's like, no, that never happened. That just never happened. So then she couldn't go back and be like, okay, well, it did happen, and I actually did love him, and he was right about that, but we were broken up. This is why you don't lie, because it snowballs. And then when you decide, oh wait, there was a better course of action, I could have told like a baby lie and given some truth, it's too late. You know, I've talked before about how like celebrity scandals, truly, you just have to say nothing. No one would still be talking about this, really. Like, if she hadn't brought up this and done this red table talk, it would just been like, oh, I don't know, that's weird. Maybe they have an open marriage, who knows? But she's giving fuel to it. Look, I'm doing another video. If you're going to say something, though, make it the truth. I don't speak on rumors about me. And if I do, I speak the truth, or I don't speak at all. Like, they're just not worth my time. It's like, what am I gonna, like, swat away every mosquito I see? No, man. It's the Great Dane and the Chihuahua, right? And if August truly is the Chihuahua barking at the Great Dane of Jada and Will, all she's doing is barking back. All she's doing by doing these red table talks is saying, August is such a problem. He is such an actual Great Dane level threat that I've got to speak on it. You shouldn't have, girl. So what do we do if we find our ex, or maybe our current, is trying to gaslight us? Oh, I am literally going through this like today. Like, got done sending a text, sat down to do this video. Again, like, there's nothing more hurtful than gaslighting when you... Okay, so we talk about gaslighting before in context of cheating, and that's like the main way we see it, or that's like kind of the big thing we need to look out for. It's like, they accuse us of cheating when really it's them, and you're crazy. She's my coworker. You're being crazy. And you're like, I'm being crazy. If you want to talk gaslighting, watch Dirty John, Betty Broderick. Oh my God. It's on TV now. Like, it's, you can put it on demand, or you can, I think, buy it on Amazon Prime. It's incredible. But after like 2 years of being gaslit by her cheating husband, Betty Broderick snapped and murdered him. And if at first you're like, she's crazy, and then you're like, I get it, girl. I get it. There's a lot of other ways this could have gone, but like, I don't not get why you did that. I don't not get it. But yeah, we think of gaslighting in the context of cheating, right? But it comes in so many other forms. And one of the big ones is, your needs are insane. What you need, I can't give you what you need. Subtext, because what you need is crazy. Because what you need is so unrealistic and so over the top and offensively intense. I'm going to pretend that it's me. I can't give you what you need. But really, this conversation is going to let you know that you're the one who's crazy. I'm going to act like it's not you, it's me. No. Girl, it's you. No, girl, it's him. It's him. I am so tired of this with guys where you're just like, hey, you know, this is what I need. This is the page I'm on. And they're like, wow, that's crazy. You just, I mean, good luck. No, good luck to you, sweetie. It's so hurtful and offensive. It's so hurtful and offensive. But sometimes it's not your current who's gaslighting you. And sometimes it's not about cheating at all. Sometimes it's your ex trying to rewrite history and trying to make it seem like what you had wasn't that thing at all. And again, like, that is something that's going to make people insane. Like in the Dirty John Betty Broderick show, one thing, like, she was asking him, she's like, when did this marriage start to end? You know, she's like, it was like April 22nd, 1986, like when he started an affair. And he's like, no, it was like June 1st, 1969, their wedding day. And she was like, like bodied, because he was saying that this relationship that you thought was so intense and so amazing, it was actually meaningless to me. I had an ex say that to me in the heat of battle. He's like, you know what? I don't know that I was ever happy. And I'm like, you can say whatever. You can say, I don't love you anymore. You've changed. This isn't what I signed up for. But for you to say I wasn't ever happy there's no coming back from that. It's so hurtful and cruel and fucking false. It's false. It's false. And the same thing when an ex is like, oh, it wasn't that serious, Kristen. You know it wasn't. And you're like, really? Because I remember when you cried in my arms and your grandfather died and I met your family and blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, no, it wasn't that serious. Like, it's crazy making when someone tries to tell you that not only is a circumstance changing, it actually wasn't ever what you thought it was. Because what does that feel like? Cheating. Cheating sucks because, sucks is such a mild term. You have been making decisions based on a reality that doesn't actually exist. And it doesn't exist because there's another person. But when a man sets up that same outcome and there isn't another person, you just want to tear your hair out. Oh, no, it actually wasn't that serious. I wasn't that into you. You were devoted to me? That's crazy. I wasn't devoted to you. No, there was no one else on the side. You were just imagining it. You were just imagining our connection. So what do you do about it? What do you do when an ex says that? Okay. That's what you do. That's what you do. It is going to be very tempting to wage a war of like a PR campaign. No, because of this and this and this. And I know how you felt. And I know what I said I needed. And I know it wasn't that crazy. And if you're telling me that it is, that's gaslighting me too. And blah, blah, blah. It's going to be very tempting to do that. Not only because you don't want your reputation to be out there that like, oh yeah, she thought she was his girlfriend. She actually was not. You want to convince yourself. You don't want that to be the narrative that you now have of this relationship in your mind, because again, that means all of your decisions were based on something that doesn't exist. And then what happens is you stop being able to trust yourself. You stop being able to be like, does this person actually like me? Is he a good guy? Is he a serial killer? I no longer feel like I have the tools to evaluate a situation accurately. I don't know. I thought he loved me. He said he loved me. We spent all our time together. I met his family, blah, blah, blah. Maybe he doesn't. He said he didn't. So where does that leave me as a woman? Where does that even leave me as a human being? Do any of my friends actually like me? Do my parents like me? It becomes bottomless. And for someone to do that to us, I really don't even have any words for it. And I have words for almost everything. It's unconscionable. It's unconscionable. And I said to someone once when they were doing this, it's like, it wasn't that serious. I'm like, you're devaluing me to devalue the loss of this relationship. That's what's happening right now. You can't just look yourself in the eye and be like, this is a good girl who loves me. I'm pushing her away. I truly couldn't give her what she needed. I am the Chihuahua. She's the Great Dane. Like, I'm a pigeon. She's an eagle. We can't do this. But I'm going to cut her down and make her feel crazy and misremembering so that I can move on and feel less bad about myself. Fuck these guys. Honestly, cowardice is too mild of a term. It's too mild of a term. It is so cruel to do that to somebody. And so unnecessary. So unnecessary. If I break up with someone, I don't need to gaslight them and tell them that they suck and this. It's like, hey, maybe I'm just not into it. I don't feel that strongly. Like, I'm not going to hurt you further by cutting you out of my life. Can you imagine anything more painful than not being in my life? I mean, I have no need for revenge. I'm no longer his. That's punishment enough. I'm not going to salt your wound by being like, not only do I not want to be with you, you're crazy. If someone really is, I don't even need to say it to them. I'm just like, goodbye. I'm just going to close that door and keep it moving. So when people do that to us, you're just like, that should be such the writing on the wall about someone's character. And usually it is. And that's the painful thing. Because then you can't go back. You can't unsee that about someone. And it's awful. I mean, it's awful. You want to unsee it. You want them to talk you out of that. You want them to say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I don't know why I said that. I was just hurt and lashing out and I'm sorry. Jada's not going to say that to August. She's not. And it's fucked up. And when he was describing the relationship he had with her, I thought, wow, she seems like a badass. She seems like she comes in, like grabs this young man by the throat and is like, I'm making you a man. Like, we're transforming you. I'm leveling you up. You're going to reach new emotional levels of maturity you never thought possible. That's great. That's really cool. But now with her behavior after, I'm like, she's a fucking punk. August is too good for her. Too good for her. He unfortunately lashed out at Keke Palmer after this. Don't you come for Keke Palmer. I love Keke Palmer. I would love Keke Palmer to just make all my decisions. I wish there was like an app where she would just have like personal voicemails and just tell me not to do things. And her like cute little, is she from Georgia? I think it's Georgia actually. Like, the gag is you let him come over and fuck and then he doesn't even take you to Jimmy John's the next day, right? And I'm like, oh God, Keke, you're right. Like, I just feel like she knows things. She just knows things. Anyway, he came for her in a tweet and he was really rude. Like, you're emotionally unstable and of course I wasn't your man and blah, blah, blah. Like, he was lashing out because Jada came for him. It's just this cycle of pain. It's terrible. But let's talk about couples goals, right? Couples goals. For so long, people thought Will and Jada were the ultimate couples goals. They've been married forever. They seem genuinely best friends. They seem like they have a really good rapport, like they enjoy each other. They're super supportive, but they still give each other space to be individuals. I was like, yeah, like there's so few, not just Hollywood couples like that, but regular couples. We know plenty of like married grown-ups. We don't know plenty of married happy grown-ups who are like BFF and have a spirit of joviality in their marriage. And so when this whole thing happened, I think it was this collective like bubble bursting for people like, wait a minute, their marriage is not as perfect as we thought. So we're going to talk about couples goals, whether you're in one or whether you're observing it. I was part of couples goals. My husband and I, we were this golden couple. Like, everyone, and I don't mean like on the internet, because I kept my relationship with him pretty private. With like with our friends, like they were like, oh my God, you two, like you just love each other and everything's so perfect. And I was like, I know, and they were for so long. But when things started to take a turn, and I realized that we weren't going to be able to right the ship, that maybe we were going in different directions, like truly, our split would have been so much better had I not been boxed into this golden PR optic thing that I was. I would have been able to ask for help. I would have maybe put us in therapy earlier and nipped things in the bud and things would have worked out. Maybe not, but I mean, I've spoken about him. He is the most wonderful person, but I don't think I'm a wonderful person for him. Like he's just a different kind of person and deserves a different kind of person than me. But he is great. He's so great. It was just his birthday. He's wonderful. But I was not able to articulate it to the people in our life, like my best friends, because I was so afraid of being judged. I was so afraid of that mask falling. And it's like, first of all, it's like, look what I do for a living. I was really afraid to tell you guys even that my marriage broke up, because I was like, who the fuck's going to want to listen to me anymore? Like, what do I know? you know what? Generals are generals not because they win every battle, but because they've suffered the losses. And I am the general around here, right? I've always said I'm not the professor like teaching theory. I'm in the trenches with y'all. So I am going through things. And that's like why we can all connect. It's like, I get it. Not just from like an esoteric, like I get it. I feel what you feel. And hopefully you guys know that I feel what you feel and you trust me. Anyway, I was very much boxed into that goldenness, and it was hard for me, therefore, to see the writing on the wall when it was time. And, you know, it was hard for anyone to help me because people like didn't believe it. They're like, no, I'm sure that's not what you meant. I'm sure that's not what he meant, blah, blah, blah. And it was really, really destructive. But it was good that it happened because now I don't care how a relationship looks. I care how it feels. And that's why I keep my relationships off Instagram for the most part. Like if I post someone that's really significant, but that's like, I'm not going to be like day to day and here's what's going on and hashtag couples goals and we're so perfect, because I don't want to get boxed into that. And where it's like, I'm so embarrassed. I can't break up with this person. Oh my God, what are people going to think? And then they're not going to trust me. Everything needs to happen in real life. We are very concerned as a society with capture versus experience, right? Optics versus authenticity. Not, did we enjoy this concert? Did we get the perfect video? Did we get the perfect pic with our friends? That's one of the things I kind of wanted to escape when I left New York, is like I would go to events just because of how they were going to look on Instagram. Like they were going to look cool. I was going to seem cool. I was going to take a bunch of cool pictures. Was I actually enjoying myself? Sometimes, but sometimes no. I was exhausted. I just wanted to stay home and watch Murder, She Wrote like a dork. And I'm like, I need to live in a place where that's not really an option anymore. There is no, oh, does it look cool that I'm out at this event in Montana? Well, there aren't any. So I needed a life that I could live IRL and craft one that feels good IRL, not looks good. I mean, it does, Montana does look good. That's its natural beauty. That's not me trying. I'm just like taking a picture of those cows. And that helped me get back to authenticity. And therefore, I think I'm crafting romantic relationships that are much more authentic, because it's not about, oh my gosh, he's going to look so good in the truck on the Instagram. It's like, how do we connect as human beings? And I'd strayed from that a lot. I really had, you know, and now my relationships are not something I hold up like Simba. They're something that is personal and private for me and him alone, you know? So what about if you're looking at couples goals and you're comparing? Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the root of all unhappiness. These are ancient Chinese proverbs. Every culture, I'm sure, from Zimbabwe to Macedonia to the Roman Empire, has a parable about this, about comparison, because it's the inverse of gratitude. And gratitude turns what you have into enough. Comparison takes what you have and tells you it's worthless. Oh, okay, I have an apartment. Well, they have a house. Okay, well, someone doesn't have a house. They don't even have an apartment. So instead of taking comparison, why don't you turn it the other way and turn it into gratitude? Devin and Kristen are on this cruise to the Mediterranean. Great, we're just sitting here. Yeah, we're sitting here, bonding, having couples time. There's a lot of people who don't have that, and they would kill to have this couch love right now. Forget about the Mediterranean cruise. They would kill to have what you have. And again, it's not about comparing like what you don't have and like, see, I have what you don't. No, it's simply gratitude. And what we have to remember about these couples goals, do you guys ever watch a Jimmy Fallon sketch about hashtags? That's why I always do that. He's like, hashtag this, hashtag that. So this means hashtag. People are like, why does she do that with her hands? It's like some weird tick. When you're couples goals, I have been couples goals, and I know from the inside that it's very destructive, because like I'm not only comparing my truth to the optics and then feeling this cognitive dissonance. It's like, I don't know why I posted that picture of us smiling and laughing. We were in a fight, but I felt like I had to, because it had been a few weeks since I posted them, and people were like, where is he? And is everything okay? And you're like, right? So I've been in that side, and I've obviously been in the side where you look at this couple and you're like, oh God, I want what they have. No, you want the actuality of what that photo, what that interaction implies. And that's how you have to frame it. That is a baby tip of the iceberg. You want the iceberg. But we don't always know what's under the surface. That's how icebergs work. They'll sink a ship. What you're seeing on social media is not a reality. It is a social mask. It's some Phantom of the Opera shit, right? No one posts the mundanity of a relationship. No one posts the lows, and if they do, they look insane, so you shouldn't do that. They post the highs. It's a highlight reel. It's a commercial. I say all the time, your social media is a commercial for you, the brand. And I mean, I am an actual brand, so mine has to be a little bit different, but still, it's a highlight reel of your life. Who are your friends? This is the best time we're having. I'm traveling. This is awesome. It's not me throwing up in the toilet from food poisoning. You're only posting the good things. And we acknowledge that sort of when we see travel. It's like, oh my God, she's in Nepal, she's climbing Everest. She's not talking about how she didn't take a shower for 11 days and her lungs were bleeding and she was crying trying to climb. No. It's her on the top of that mountain with the flags, and it's like, yeah, she did it. But we acknowledge when we see someone doing that. Like if we see someone posting a picture from a hike, look, they're on the top of the mountain. We know there was a climb. We know there were some stumbles. We know there was some sweat and some hard work to get to that mountain. We don't think that with people. We just see that wedding pic. We just see the engagement. We just see the coupled up laughing, snuggled up into his chest. And we think, oh, there was no mountain. That was a straight path, like an escalator, those flat things in an airport. And it's not that way. There was a mountain. And that's the best case scenario. Maybe they are genuinely happy, and I hope so. But there was a mountain that they climbed to get there. The worst case scenario is that actually, you're right. No, there wasn't a mountain. They're taking a pic from base camp and pretending they're on the summit, and they're not. Maybe they don't even realize that. Maybe they do, and they're so boxed in by this idea of perfection. But things aren't always the reality. So why do people have that idea of perfection? We have to be the golden couple. I think it's because people are afraid to fail. I'm thinking back to me, when I was in that, it's like I was afraid. I felt like I had to be perfect. I felt like I was going to be such a disappointment to people in my life, more in my life than on the internet, but on the internet too, where it's like, oh, she had it in the air and she just couldn't land it. She had this wonderful person, this wonderful situation, and it didn't work. What do you want, Shallon? What do you want? It kind of came down to a beggar's mentality. So you're telling me that this perfect relationship wasn't, that you couldn't keep it perfect? First of all, you're a failure. Second of all, how dare you ask for more out of a relationship? How dare you ask for different communication, different chemistry, different life goals? You need to take what you can get, right, bitch? You don't have the luxury of saying, no, this might be a B+ love. I want an A+ love. Some people would be lucky to have what you have. That tends to end in breakups and divorce, or just really unhappy relationships that you feel trapped in. We have to stop with the beggar's mentality. We have to stop normalizing stagnation to avoid being single or being out on our own, or to avoid looking at what our psyche is telling us, not what we want. Because what we want ostensibly is this, right? Couples goals, perfect. What we need. What do I need? Actually, I don't need to live in a high rise. I need to live out in the country. And he doesn't want to live in the country. So maybe it's perfect on paper. He's perfect on paper for a lifelong New Yorker. They want to do the exact same things. For a country girl at heart, maybe not. Maybe I need to have sex 6 times a week, 9. And maybe he doesn't. How dare I have different needs? Like we talked about in the last video. How dare you not? How dare you deny your truth, your authenticity, and your alignment to hang on to a guy who, quite frankly, even if he's awesome, deserves someone else. He deserves someone on the same page. He deserves someone who wants to live in that high rise and only fuck once a week. Whatever, he deserves that. You deserve that too. And nobody is going to get what they deserve without a modicum of honesty. And honesty only works if you're willing to look at it neutrally. if you're willing to say, okay, what do I need? Let's just examine my needs without judgment. And that can be really hard. So it's helpful to pretend it's your friends. Okay, I'm not me, I'm Becca. What does Becca need? Okay, she needs to live in the country. She needs to get laid all the time. She needs this, she needs that. I wouldn't have any sort of character judgment for my friend's needs. I'd be like, hey girl, that's what you need, good for you. But when it comes to me, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Then we invite gaslighters, don't we? Because when we're not okay with what we need, other people would decide. They make up the story. Oh, no, Shallon was super desperate to have me because I live in a high-rise apartment. You're like, yeah. Wait, no, I want to live in the country though. If I didn't know that, then someone could hand me that high-rise story and I would believe it. And I would be a very good gaslighting victim because I hadn't done the work to know, like, no, I need to live in the country and I'm not going to apologize for that. And that's not crazy. And if that's not the page you're on, that's fine. But don't tell me that what I do need is crazy. Don't do that. Same with everything else. Okay, I need you to make me feel like I'm a priority in your life and call me every morning or text me good morning, princess, every morning. And if you think that's crazy, well, that sounds like a you problem. Because I've made peace with that. Hey, that's what I need. I need to feel loved and adored and like I'm a priority and I'm the first thing on your mind. I don't think sending a text is like asking too much. People can do it on the toilet. That's fine. But that's what I need. And you cannot gaslight me now about that. I'm ungaslightable because I have sat with my wants and my needs and truly shaken all of their hands. Hello, morning text. Hello, sex 3 times a day. Hello, country house. Welcome. You are all welcome here. My needs are part of me, and I'm not changing them, and I'm not apologizing for them. And when you try to rewrite history and tell me that I should do all of those things, the door's that way. I want to know what you guys have to say about couples goals, exes gaslighting you. Do you believe Will and Jada that she was broken up? I don't believe her for a second. I think this was a shitty thing to do to August, to poke at that young man in like his emotional underbelly when he was just being very honest. Whether he should have brought it up or not, that's a whole other story. Like, no, keep your business private, but he did. And once he did, she could have just said, you know what? We were trying something different. We had an open marriage. We thought maybe that'd be good. Turns out it's not our thing. We moved on. That's all she would have had to say. Don't lie. Don't lie to the Shallon entourage, because the Shallergators gonna come and get you. For more, click like and subscribe. Find me on Instagram at ShallonXO, where I let you guys vote and weigh in on the topics. We've got topics on Kourtney Kardashian, Kylie and Kendall coming up. Who else? Oh, Tom Cruise. Lots. Just videos out the yin yang. Find me also on Cameo if you want a video shout out, and be sure to follow me on InStream for some sexy fun tutorials. See you later, Shalloners.